Bold ideas, our perspectives. A Pan-Africanism that delivers on the aspirations and needs of Africans. This was a topic that I was privileged to present, to be among young people in Uganda who were invited to present at Makerere at 100 and Nyerere at 100. So I prepared this, although when we got there, it was a question that was asked there and then, and we were supposed to give just a summary. And so I didn't present this paper, but I gave a summary. So I'm glad to share it today here. One day, I was speaking and drawing wisdom from wazee wangu, meaning elders. We were speaking about regional integration, and they said we have to retool our youth. Please underline the word retool. What does retooling mean? Our countries are now 60 years plus since independence. Ghana was first in sub-Saharan Africa. She got her independence in 1957, and therefore she's 66, 65 then, last year. With all these years of independence, it simply means that we have gained some experience of how modern African states are run. Let us underline the word African. I wish to be very clear here. Our states are not Asian, European, or American. We are modern African states. It took China about 40 years of serious transformation. Underline the word serious. During the African struggle for independence, we had one common goal, our people's freedom from colonial rule. This we got. Soon after independence, our leaders' common goal was to lead people out of poverty. Our leaders had a plan. The plan was to have regional integration and one voice. These were really serious plans, and had we managed to achieve them, today we would be talking of other bigger plans for our continent. I do not think it was easy for China to do what they did. I think the leaders and the people of China were tired of their poverty. Let us underline the word leaders and people. This has to be a mutual feeling. Leaders must be tired of poverty, and people must be tired of poverty, especially leaders, because they have to lead the people. But the problem for some of us Africans is we are comfortable with our people's poverty. Maybe, I don't know. What is Tanzania alone as a single country? What is Uganda alone? How can Tanzania as one country trade with European Union? Really? So we have individual countries receiving goods from all over the world, and such goods are being dumped in our small countries. How then can we become industrious? We import cars from Japan, but not from South Africa or Morocco. We import wheat all the way from Ukraine and Russia, but forget that Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, South Africa, and other African countries grow wheat. Let's come back to wazee wangu. Retooling. The only place we can retool our children, our youth, is in schools through our education system. What is really being instilled in our children's heads for 22 years, and I have excluded the 4 to 5 years of PhD? Why aren't we teaching our children to be proud of Africa by retelling and rewriting our own history? Is it really true that civilization started from Western countries? Are we really poor? In what terms? Why are we spending so much money in education and still graduate with so much ignorance about our continent and its potential? Why is the education for self-reliance? Where is education for self-reliance when our countries are not industrious and our governments cannot employ us? Where is the education for our survival? Where is that education that teaches our children that Africa ni moja, that Africa is one, and the possibility that Kiswahili can act as a unifying language? We already have it. Data says we have about 250 million people in the world speaking Kiswahili. What are the rest waiting for? Where is that education that really teaches us about Pan-Africanism? The education that tells us that we have brothers and sisters all over the world. The truth is, at the moment in Africa, we have so many diaspora or Pan-Africanists who have decided to come back home. Are our governments aware? Is there statistics? Do we know who they are? What are they here? What are they doing here? What do they wish to do while they are here? Are we encouraging them to invest for those who can and fit in well in our environment? Do we have an ear for them? Because the truth is they are home. They have chosen to come back home and invest at home. Are we supportive enough? But again, we shouldn't forget that binadamu wote ni sawa na tena ni ndugu zangu. Humanity is one and is indivisible. No matter what, we have to work together. In doing so, we must always be on alert. We have to be smart and sharp for our people. As I conclude, I leave you with these words from a very wise man. Vijana wa Afrika, siku yenu imefika. Siku yenu ni leo. Siku ya kufunga teo. Tumechoka kuonewa, tumechoka kuchezewa. This was written by Mwalimu Nyerere, 1971. Asanteni sana.